Whenever I launch a brand new Airbnb listing, the first 30 days are the most important. This is basically your window to get momentum, get bookings, get reviews, get data, and most importantly, tell the Airbnb algorithm, hey, my listing deserves to be seen. But ranking on these different OTAs is not just luck. A lot of times people think they get ranked where they're ranked at because that's just what the algorithm did. Just they got lucky and they ranked on the first page, or they got really unlucky and they ranked on the last page. But that's false. Airbnb, Booking.com, VRBO, all these OTAs have an algorithm just like your favorite social media platform. All of them have a very strategic reason why they place things where they are placed, and it's all based off the algorithm. If you can learn the algorithm, you can master the platform. The algorithm will rank you off of two things. One, how optimized your listings are, and two, what your dynamic pricing strategy is. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I price new listings to rank faster, how listing optimization ties directly into your pricing performance, and how I automate all of this using PriceLabs, my go-to dynamic pricing software. Plus a few other tools I rely on when launching new listings across different OTAs. The first thing I want to talk about is the launch window, what it is and why it is so important. When you launch a new listing, Airbnb, VRBO, all these OTAs gives you a short-term boost. This is basically a test run to see how guests are responding to your listing. Now, your job as a host is to get booked fast, get 5-star reviews early on, and basically build as much data as possible to tell the algorithms that you are a high-performing host, that you deserve to be ranked higher. This is why your launch strategy needs to consist of two things. One, optimize listings. So think SEO, photos, titles, descriptions. And two, a dynamic pricing strategy. Think PriceLabs. This is basically what's going to help get those instant bookings in the door. Now that we understand what the launch window is, let me break down the power duo at hand. This is something that most hosts miss. They don't understand that listing optimization and dynamic pricing strategies are literally best friends. You need both to tango. Even if you use the smartest pricing software, the best pricing strategy, but you do not have a clickable listing, you will not get bookings. So before I even turn PriceLabs on or think about a pricing strategy, the first thing you need to do is optimize your listings. This consists of three main things. The first one being keyword-rich titles. So that title you see on every single Airbnb listing, if they're a good host, they chose that title and those words very specifically. This ensures that guests actually see your listing when they are searching up properties in your area. The second thing is SEO-based descriptions. In your descriptions, you want to be highlighting all the good things about your property because the algorithm reads into that and then pushes you based on your description. All of that stuff plays a role into how you get ranked. And the third one, which I feel like is just the bare minimum nowadays, but people still are not doing it, professional photos. Professional photos builds trust instantly. Your hero image, so that first image that people see when they're scrolling on the algorithm, is quite literally make or break. So choose your hero image carefully. Airbnb's algorithm actually looks at both the click-through rate and the conversion rate. So if people click your listing and they book your listing, you automatically get ranked higher. And dynamic pricing is one of the major factors that fuels this cycle. So think of it this way: lower the launch rates plus the higher quality of listing equals fast booking and fast rankings. And together, the dream team. Now I want to talk about my exact pricing strategy for new listings. Once I've optimized my listing, I now want to move on to the second half of this formula, which is dynamic pricing. The first thing I do is set my base price about 10 to 15% below market value. Not for forever, but just for like the first 2 weeks. Now, the reason I always have new listings calendars only open for the first 2 weeks is because I want to encourage that new listing discount that Airbnb gives out to be used instantly and not during peak high season down the road. I would hate if someone got like that 20% discount on New Year's Eve because my calendar was open. So whenever a new listing goes live, I only open my calendar for that first 2 weeks. And then I set my base rate about 10 to 15% below market value to encourage bookings. The second thing is I allow 1-night stays, 2-night stays. I do not set a minimum because I want all bookers to book. This will also help me get reviews in very early, which is also a very important factor into the algorithm. The third thing I do is turn all dynamic rules on inside of my PriceLabs account. This consists of those orphan night adjustments, occupancy-based pricing, and minimum stay logic. Now the best thing about PriceLabs is they're integrated with basically all PMSs. So I'm currently using HostAway, which to me, your PMS is the center of your business. This is like the engine of your tech stack. From there, you can integrate with different softwares, PriceLabs being one of them. PriceLabs literally integrates super simply, and then literally all you do is just basically turn it on. And as soon as you turn it on, it does all of these things I mentioned automatically. So this helps me win those early bookings and feed me more and more performance data, all while maintaining fully automated through PriceLabs. Now, while PriceLabs does basically all of the the heavy lifting for you once you go live, it is good to just oversee and make sure things are going smoothly. You should not be inside of PriceLabs every single day. That's the reason you are using PriceLabs, to automate this part of the business for you, but it is good to go in and oversee and just make sure things are going smoothly. So I typically do this on a weekly basis. On a new listing, once I hit about 60 to 70% occupancy, I then will go in and increase my base rate to about 5% each week. By then I'll have a bunch of reviews, solid SEO, and an algorithm that trusts me in my listing. At this point, Airbnb will reward me with higher placement even as I continue to increase my rates through PriceLabs. So remember, the dream team here is listing optimization and pricing strategies. You need both of them. You cannot just have one or the other. I personally use PriceLabs. I've been using them for the last 3 years, and hands down, the best pricing software out there. Like I said, it does all of these things automatically for you, but it gives hosts the flexibility to come in and get even more nitty gritty. So experienced hosts like me, I go in and I mess around with different things, rule sets or different numbers, or I'll bump it up or bump it down. It's totally customizable. So it gives you that kind of like peace of mind that you can play around with it without, messing up your pricing strategy, because PriceLabs does it for you. So it gives you that comfort that you can come in and play around with it, but still have a good solid pricing foundation. Or if you literally don't want to touch anything, you don't have to, because PriceLabs will get you the highest occupancy rate with the highest ADR to ensure that you're making the most money year round, no matter what time of the year it is, no matter what season you're in, high, low, it doesn't matter. PriceLabs does all of the heavy lifting for you. Don't forget, optimized listings help you get the click. Dynamic pricing helps you get the booking. And together, they make Airbnb's algorithm and all the other algorithms basically fall in love with you. Now that you know my exact new listing launch strategy, if you are not using a dynamic pricing software, or you want to switch from a current dynamic pricing software that you're using to PriceLabs, I do have a 30-day free trial. The link is in the description. If I can figure out how to put it somewhere up here on the screen, I will, but you have to use that link. You will get 30 days for free. And if you're not using a pricing software, are you okay? Because that's crazy. That's literally nuts. But yeah, you can find the link for that 30-day free trial in the description below. If you have any questions around new launching strategies, new listings, pricing, listing optimization, or anything Airbnb real estate centered, please comment down below. I'd be more than willing to help answer any questions, or if you have any video ideas that you would like to see, I'm also open to those as well. And if you want a mentor to help you in the Airbnb arbitrage space, I do coach people. I currently have over 1,000 students absolutely killing it. I just came back from VRMA, and while I was there, I had 3 students come out. 1 flew straight from Miami after staging a 2-unit deal, and then the other 2, which are a couple, flying to Florida literally in 2 weeks to sign a multi-unit deal as well. Everyone in the community is doing absolutely amazing. I'll be flying to Rome to speak at VRWS, and then to Austin to speak at Hostchella. So if you are a Hostaway user and you want to come see me speak and meet me and meet a bunch of the students and a bunch of other amazing people in this space, feel free to attend either of those. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You took something away from it. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye.